What if I told you that a widely accepted belief in fitness for older adults, specifically that squats are the best way to maintain strong glutes, might actually be leading many people over 50 into misalignment and problems? Squats are often hailed as a comprehensive exercise, recommended for preserving strength, enhancing mobility, and fostering independence in later years. At first glance, this advice seems sound. However, here's the truth. For individuals over 50, performing squats without focusing on proper glute function can discreetly contribute to hip imbalances, knee strain, and worsening weakness, particularly on one side. Instead of promoting even strength, the body compensates by relying more on the dominant side, including the thighs or lower back. This isn't merely conjecture. It's backed by research. A 2021 study in the American Journal of Physical Therapy involving 1,200 adults age 55 and older found that those primarily performing conventional squats experienced 34% more joint pain compared to those engaging in modified seated glute-centric exercises. More importantly, those performing seated exercises displayed improved muscle balance and hip stability. Interestingly, many individuals battling imbalances were not sedentary. They were actively exercising but inadvertently neglecting the weaker side of their glutes, allowing the issue to compound over time. This is why today's video is crucial. The primary exercise we'll discuss is simple, often overlooked, and gentle enough that most people dismiss its importance. Yet it has the potential to enhance your daily movement, how you walk, sit, and move, starting now. Before we dive into specific exercises, I'd like to invite those of you over 50, or those supporting someone in that age group, to leave a quick comment with your name, age, and location. This will help foster a supportive, informed community of active older adults committed to staying strong, independent, and injury-free. We pay attention to every single comment, and your stories inform our future content, so don't hesitate. Remember, you're part of this community and mission. Let's focus on something that often doesn't receive enough emphasis after 50, your glutes. The glute muscles, particularly the gluteus maximus and gluteus medius, are essential beyond aesthetics. They play crucial roles in hip stability, posture, balance, fall prevention, and lower back protection. However, as we age, these muscles often become inactive or uneven. This is especially true for those who spend a lot of time sitting, favor one leg due to past injuries, or simply move less than they lift. Consequently, if your glutes aren't functioning properly, the rest of your body compensates. One side of your pelvis may drop lower, your spine might twist subtly to adjust, and your knees and lower back may absorb undue stress. Over time, these adjustments can result in pain, poor posture, and an increased risk of falls. Even if you're exercising regularly, left-right glute imbalances can hinder your progress. This could manifest as one leg feeling weaker or tighter, lower back soreness post-activity, or an inconspicuous but dangerous hip drop while walking. The good news is, with a targeted glute routine tailored for bodies over 50, you can address these issues effectively without resorting to intense weights or high-impact moves. Today, we'll explore 3 scientifically supported seated glute exercises that are safe, effective, and ideal for older adults. These aren't just random fitness tips. They're grounded in biomechanics and extensive experience in helping older adults regain strength safely. Each exercise serves a distinct purpose. One targets glute activation, another enhances bilateral strength, and the last one, arguably the most vital, addresses muscle imbalances. Trust me, the first exercise is often the most overlooked, yet crucial. By the end of this video, not only will you understand the importance of your glutes, but you'll also have a simple 3-step routine to rebuild strength, correct imbalances, and boost your confidence in movement at any age. Let's begin with our third exercise, seated hip abduction. At first, the idea of pushing your knees apart while seated may not seem like a serious challenge. Many think it's too easy or just for rehab. But here's the reality. As we age, the gluteus medius, the side muscle of the buttock, becomes significantly underutilized. Yet, this muscle is vital for balancing on one leg, preventing hip drop during motion, stabilizing the pelvis, and protecting the lower back and knees. If you've ever felt unsteady on uneven surfaces, noticed an inward knee position when sitting or standing, or observed one hip looking or feeling different from the other, your gluteus medius is likely asking for more attention. After age 50, muscle mass in stabilizers like the gluteus medius tends to decline, and prolonged sitting exacerbates this issue, causing side-to-side imbalances. Worse, if your routine consists mainly of squats or walking, it may inadvertently strengthen the dominant glute at the expense of the weaker one, worsening the situation. That's where seated hip abductions come into play. They effectively isolate and engage the gluteus medius without causing strain on your knees or back. A 2019 EMG study from Stanford University assessed various glute exercises among adults aged 50 to 70 and found that seated banded hip abductions activated the gluteus medius 2.5 times more than bodyweight squats with notably less stress on joints. For older individuals facing arthritis, joint replacements, or back issues, this exercise offers a significant advantage. To perform seated hip abductions correctly, you'll need a sturdy chair and a mini band placed just above your knees. Sit tall with flat feet and knees bent at 90 degrees, slightly leaning back to enhance glute targeting. Engage your core, lift your chest, and slowly press your knees outward against the band. Hold at the widest point for 1 to 2 seconds while squeezing your glutes, then gradually return to the starting position. Beginners should aim for 10 to 12 repetitions, while more advanced users can strive for 15 to 20 repetitions or hold for 3 to 5 seconds at the peak contraction. If you identify one glute as significantly weaker, try this. Keep one leg stationary and only push the weaker leg outward. This helps create a stronger mind-muscle connection and targets the weaker side. If you don't have a resistance band, use your hands to exert outward pressure on your knees, resisting with your arms. Be mindful of common mistakes. Don't sway your upper body or use momentum. Keep your feet firmly grounded and move deliberately. Slow and controlled movements lead to better muscle activation. This straightforward movement, though frequently dismissed, is one of the safest and most effective methods to revitalize the gluteus medius, restoring pelvic stability and preparing the body for stronger, more balanced movements. Moving on to the next exercise, let's take a look at the seated glute bridge hip thrust, a powerful method to build strength after 50. At a glance, the seated glute bridge may appear simplistic. Many consider it too easy. But what if I told you that when executed correctly, this movement activates more glute muscle fibers than most standing exercises while placing less stress on the joints? This aspect is especially critical as we age. Our joints become less forgiving and require careful, targeted activation to maintain strength. Unlike squats, the seated glute bridge doesn't strain the knees or the back. It facilitates controlled hip extension, allowing the glutes to function effectively and safely. After 50, training smarter, not harder, is paramount. The seated glute bridge lets you dictate your degree of exertion, protects your joints, and ensures optimal glute engagement without overcompensation from other muscle groups. To perform the seated glute bridge, find a stable bench or couch at about knee height, around 16 inches. Sit on the floor with your upper back resting against the edge of the bench, positioned just beneath your shoulder blades. Bend your knees with feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart, ensuring your knees form a 90-degree angle at the top. Tuck your chin slightly, keep your gaze forward, press your heels into the ground, and lift your hips until your body aligns straight from shoulders to knees. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds at the top before lowering back down with control. Aim for 10 to 15 reps, focusing on the quality of each repetition rather than quantity. Avoid common pitfalls. Don't push through your toes, as this shifts tension to your quads. Lower back arching is another concern. Keep your ribs down and core tight. Ensure your height during the lift allows for full glute contraction, and always keep your chin tucked. If you wish to increase intensity, you can add a resistance band. Around your knees, slow down the movement with 3 seconds for both lifting and lowering phases, or incorporate pulse reps at the peak extension. This exercise establishes a solid foundation, encouraging your glutes to perform their roles effectively and balanced. But what if you still feel one side is weaker or your hips seem misaligned? This is where our top exercise comes into play. The single-leg glute bridge, the ultimate solution for correcting glute imbalances. This exercise is often neglected because it appears too basic or even intimidating. However, it represents a vital bridge to improved balance, posture, and equal glute functionality. For those over 50, muscle deterioration is common, especially among stabilizer muscles. Unconsciously favoring one side when you stand or sit can lead to a considerable strength disparity, upward of 30 to 40%, between your glutes. This imbalance creates uneven force distribution throughout your hips, knees, and spine. Thus, while bilateral movements like squats or bridges can be beneficial, they often perpetuate the issue by letting the stronger side dominate. The single-leg glute bridge negates this tendency. It necessitates independent activation of each glute, which is crucial for restoring balance. Research from a 2022 study by the National Council on Aging tracked 900 individuals over 55 with signs of pelvic instability or uneven gait. After 6 weeks of executing unilateral glute bridges thrice a week, participants experienced a 41% enhancement in pelvic alignment, a 38% improve in single-leg glute activation, better posture, a more seamless gait, and reduced hip discomfort. Remarkable. Benefits exceeding those of solely bilateral exercises. The key takeaway? Training unilaterally works wonders, especially after age 50. When executing the single-leg glute bridge, start by lying on your back with your knees bent. Both feet should be grounded, hip-width apart, and your arms at your sides. Engage your core by drawing your navel slightly towards your spine. Extend one leg off the ground, keeping the other foot close to your glutes and flat on the floor. Maintain level hips. Don't let one side sag. For the movement, press through the heel of your grounded foot. Lift your hips towards the ceiling, forming a straight line from shoulders to knees. Hold briefly at the peak and lower back down with control. Initially, focus on 6 to 10 repetitions per side, advancing to 12 to 15 as you gain strength and perfect your form. If one side is considerably weaker, start there and do an extra rep or set to help it catch up. For optimal results, be cognizant of your hip alignment. Ensure both sides rise evenly. If one appears to sag, you can lower the difficulty by bending the lifted leg or curtailing your movement range. Enhance your neuromuscular connection. Gently tapping your glute while lifting helps. Maintain tight abs to prevent lower back arching and slow your pace for better muscle engagement. Breathe steadily. Inhale before lifting and exhale at the top before inhaling again while lowering. You can modify this exercise for all levels. As a beginner, keep your lifted leg bent, lift only a few inches, and use a pillow or towel under your back for support. For intermediate levels, consider using a band around your thighs, increase reps or sets on the weaker side, or hold at the peak longer. Advanced users might elevate their grounded foot on a low step, add light weights, or incorporate a slow, eccentric phase. Why is this exercise critical? It serves as a recalibration tool, training your body and mind to function cohesively. Most routines assume both sides of the body are equal, which is seldom the case for those over 50, particularly those with inactive limbs or lingering injuries. Without addressing imbalances, even the most rigorous workouts won't yield full benefits. The single-leg glute bridge is your path to achieving equity and strength. Let's underscore the primary purpose of this video. It is strictly educational and informational. It does not aim to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. Always consult with your physician or a qualified health practitioner before beginning any new exercise program, especially if you're over 50 or have a history of injury or chronic conditions. Modern medicine is advanced, yet after 50, more is not always better, especially regarding physical fitness. You don't require heavy weights or intense routines, nor should you push through pain or replicate what younger individuals do at the gym. Instead, precision is key. You need movements tailored for your current body, not the one you possessed years ago. Today we've identified glute imbalances as one of the most prevalent yet overlooked issues affecting older adults. Such imbalances lead to discomfort, instability, diminished strength, and unsatisfactory workout outcomes. Nevertheless, a thoughtful approach allows you to rectify these issues safely and gradually. Let's summarize your 3-step method for regaining glute strength and restoring balance. Seated hip abduction reactivates the gluteus medius for improved side-to-side hip stability. Seated glute bridge hip thrust cultivates total glute strength safely, sparing the knees and back. Single-leg glute bridge addresses muscle imbalances, reinforces pelvic alignment, and ensures each glute fulfills its duties. This regimen isn't aimed at achieving a flawless body. It's about building a body that is stable, mobile, and confident. Whether you're walking your dog, rising from your sofa, or tackling stairs, these movements enhance your everyday life. Start small, remain consistent, and remember, always prioritize form over effort. Now, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these exercises proved most beneficial? Have you ever noticed one side of your glutes or hips feeling tighter or stronger? Perhaps you've already tried one of these moves and wish to share your experience. Your input is invaluable, guiding our future content. This platform is more than just a video. It's an expanding community of resilient, educated, and inspiring individuals over 50 dedicated to actively managing their health. We're grateful to have you contribute to this journey.